18 things to expect at King Charles III's coronation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to discuss the much-awaited coronation of King Charles III. After years of waiting, the prince is finally ready to take the throne, and with it, usher in a new era of British history. His coronation is expected to be a grand affair, filled with pomp and circumstance, and steeped in tradition. In this video, we will be looking at 18 things that you can expect at King Charles III's coronation. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 18. After the coronation. After the coronation, if he chooses to use the regnal name, he will become the King of the United Kingdom, as well as the head of the Commonwealth and the Supreme Governor of the Church of England. As king, he will assume all of the powers, responsibilities, and duties of the monarch, including representing the United Kingdom both domestically and internationally, and serving as a figurehead for the nation. There are likely to be various celebrations and events held to mark the occasion of his coronation, and he will likely make various public appearances in the days and weeks following the ceremony. Number 17. Invitation of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. If Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were invited to attend the coronation of King Charles III, it would be a significant event and would likely be widely covered by the media. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been in the public eye in recent years due to their departure from the senior royal roles and their subsequent move to the United States. It is worth noting that the relationship between the royal family and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has been somewhat strained, particularly after their explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021. It is unclear whether Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would attend the coronation, as this would depend on the range of factors, including their own schedules and any diplomatic considerations. However, if they did attend, it would be seen as a sign of reconciliation and could potentially help to heal some of the divisions that have emerged within the royal family in recent years. Number 16. Coronation Medal. A coronation medal will likely be issued to commemorate the coronation of King Charles III if he chooses to use that regal name. A coronation medal is a commemorative medal that is issued to mark the coronation of a new monarch. Coronation medals are typically issued to members of the royal family, high-ranking government officials, and other notable individuals. They are also sometimes made available to the general public for purchase. The design of the coronation medal is likely to be determined by the Royal Mint, which is responsible for producing the medal. The design will likely feature an image of King Charles III and may include other symbols and motifs associated with the monarchy or the coronation ceremony itself. It is worth noting that the issuance of a coronation medal is not a foregone conclusion, as this will ultimately be the decision for King Charles III and his advisors to make. However, given the long-standing tradition of issuing such medals, it is likely that one will be produced to commemorate the coronation of the new king. Number 15. Bank holiday on the coronation day. It is possible that a bank holiday could be declared to mark the coronation of King Charles III if he chooses to use that regnal name. A bank holiday is a public holiday in the United Kingdom, during which banks and many other businesses and government offices are closed. Historically, bank holidays have been declared to mark important events, such as royal weddings and jubilees, and it is possible that a similar approach could be taken for the coronation of a new monarch. However, whether or not a bank holiday is declared will ultimately be the decision for the government to make. The government would need to weigh up the benefits of declaring a bank holiday, such as increased tourism and a boost to the economy, against the cost of lost productivity and other potential drawbacks. It is worth noting that there is no guarantee that a bank holiday would be declared for the coronation, as this would depend on a range of factors, including the political climate at the time and the preferences of the new monarch and their advisors. Number 14. Coronation Emblem. A coronation emblem typically refers to a symbol or design that represents the monarchy or the specific monarch being crowned during a coronation ceremony. The design may incorporate various elements such as heraldry, symbols of power and authority, and religious motifs. The specific coronation emblem used may vary depending on the country, culture, and tradition of the coronation ceremony. For example, the coronation emblem for Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953 featured a shield with the arms of the United Kingdom, surrounded by the symbols of the Commonwealth countries, and other decorations such as the royal cipher and St. Edward's crown. Similarly, the coronation emblem for King George VI's coronation in 1937 included elements of the monarch's coat of arms, such as the lion and unicorn supporters. It is important to note that any potential future coronation emblem for a specific monarch would be determined by the country's tradition and protocol surrounding coronations and may not be revealed until the actual coronation ceremony. Number 13. Benediction. A benediction is a common element in many religious and ceremonial events, including coronations. A benediction is a short prayer or blessing that typically comes at the end of a religious or ceremonial event. In the context of a coronation ceremony, a benediction may be offered by a religious leader or official, asking for God's blessing and guidance for the new monarch and the country. The specific content and wording of the benediction may vary depending on the religious traditions and beliefs of the monarch and the country. It is likely that when the coronation ceremony for King Charles III takes place, a benediction or similar blessing will be included as part of the ceremony, as has been the tradition for many previous coronations in the United Kingdom. Number 12. Camilla as Queen Consort. Prince Charles becoming king means his wife, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, will become Queen Consort. However, it's important to note that the title of Queen Consort is not the same as that of a Queen Regnant, which is monarch in her own right. As Queen Consort, Camilla will support the king in his duties and may perform some ceremonial roles, but she will not have the same constitutional powers as the king. It is worth noting, however, that there has been some controversy over whether Camilla would be styled as queen. This is because of her previous marriage and the fact that she was once known as Camilla Parker Bowles, rather than Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. The official position of the royal family is that she will be styled as queen, but it remains to be seen whether this will be accepted by the public and whether she will use the title. Number 11. Public celebrations that would occur at the coronation. When the coronation of Charles III occurs, there would likely be public celebrations to mark the occasion. The specific nature of these celebrations would depend on a variety of factors, such as the location of the coronation and the preferences of the royal family. The coronation festivities will conclude with a grand fireworks display over the River Thames. The display is expected to be one of the largest and most spectacular ever seen in London, and will be enjoyed by millions of people around the world. In the United Kingdom, which has a long history of coronations, public celebrations typically include street parties, lunch parties, parades, and other events that allow people to come together and celebrate the occasion. There may also be televised events, such as concerts and firework displays, that allow people who cannot attend in person to still participate in the celebrations. It's also traditional for the new monarch to make a public appearance on the balcony of Buckingham Palace following the coronation ceremony, allowing the public to see and celebrate with the new king or queen. Number 10. The ceremonial feast. After the coronation ceremony, a ceremonial feast will be held, known as the Coronation Banquet. This feast is a tradition that dates back centuries and is held in Westminster Hall, which is the oldest part of the Palace of Westminster. The menu for the Coronation Banquet is expected to be elaborate and will feature traditional British dishes such as roast beef and pudding, as well as exotic delicacies from around the world. During the Coronation Banquet, various toasts will be made to King Charles III and the royal family. These toasts are an important part of the banquet and are usually accompanied by the clinking of glasses and cheers from the guests. Number 9. Status of Prince William and Prince Harry. King Charles's sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, will have different statuses after the coronation. Prince William will retain his royal title and position as the eldest son of the monarch. He will become the heir apparent, but his position as Duke of Cambridge will not change. Meanwhile, Harry, who was sixth in line to the throne, will not retain his title of Duke of Sussex, as his position in the line of succession as his brother, Prince William, because of his and his wife Meghan Markle, a departure from official royal duties. Number 8. The Oath. King Charles III will also take an oath to uphold the laws and customs of the land and to govern with justice and mercy. This is an important part of the coronation ceremony and has been a part of British coronations since the Middle Ages. Following the coronation, the national anthem God Save the Queen will be played, but with the lyrics changed to God Save the King. King Charles III will travel through the streets of London in the Gold State Coach, a 253-year-old carriage that has been used in every coronation since George IV's in 1821. It is traditionally the role of the media to cover events of national importance, such as the coronation of a new monarch. So it is likely that various news outlets and media organizations would cover the coronation of Charles III when it occurs. Number 7. The Guest List. The guest list for a royal coronation ceremony typically includes members of the royal family, as well as representatives of foreign governments, the Church of England, and other important organizations and institutions. High-ranking members of the British government and military will also be expected to attend, as would prominent members of British society, including artists, musicians, and writers. The specific guest list for the coronation of King Charles is unknown at the time, as the guest list has not been officially announced and is subject to change. However, the event would likely be widely covered by the media and watched by millions of people around the world. Number 6. The Procession. The procession is a traditional and highly symbolic part of the coronation ceremony for British monarchs. During the procession, the newly crowned monarch is led through the streets of London, from Westminster Abbey to Buckingham Palace, in a grand display of pomp and pageantry. The procession typically includes members of the royal family, representatives from the Church of England, and other important officials and dignitaries. The monarch is typically carried in a golden carriage, accompanied by military vans and a large contingent of soldiers. Along the route, crowds of well-wishers line the streets to catch a glimpse of the newly crowned monarch and to celebrate the occasion. The procession typically ends at the Buckingham Palace, where the monarch makes an appearance on the palace balcony and greets the assembled crowds. After the ceremony, King Charles III will lead a procession through the streets of London. Following the procession, King Charles III and the royal family will appear on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, where they will give more details. The streets of London are expected to be filled with crowds of people, who will line the streets to catch a glimpse of the new king. Number 5. The Scepter. It is worth noting that the British monarchy has a long tradition of using scepters during coronation ceremonies. The scepter is a symbol of royal authority, and it typically includes a decorated rod or staff with a finial at the top, often set with precious stones. The British crown jewels include several scepters that have been used during coronation ceremonies over the centuries, such as the sovereign scepter with cross, which is the symbol of the monarch's spiritual authority, and the sovereign scepter with dove, which is the symbol of the monarch's temporal power. King Charles III will be presented with the sovereign scepter, which is topped with the world's largest cut diamond, the Cullinan 1. Number 4. The Anointing. The anointing involves the application of holy oil to the monarch's forehead, chest, and hands by the Archbishop of Canterbury, which is the highest-ranking cleric in the Church of England. During the anointing, the monarch kneels at the altar in Westminster Abbey while the Archbishop recites prayers and blessings. The oil, known as the holy oil of chrism, is then applied to the monarch's forehead, chest, and hands using a golden spoon. The anointing is meant to symbolize the monarch's divine right to rule and his or her responsibility to govern with wisdom and justice. After the anointing, the monarch is then crowned with the St. Edward's crown, which is the crown traditionally used in coronation ceremonies for British monarchs. The crown is made of gold and weighs almost 5 pounds, and is set with precious jewels including diamonds, sapphires, and pearls. The anointing is a significant and long-standing tradition in British coronation ceremonies, and would likely be included in the coronation. Number 3. The robes. The most significant robe worn during the ceremony is the coronation robe, which is a long, crimson robe made of velvet and trimmed with ermine fur. The robe is worn over a white linen tunic, and is fastened at the neck with a gold and jeweled clasp. The coronation robe is typically worn during the anointing and crowning of the monarch. Other important robes worn during the ceremony include the royal robes of state, which are worn by the monarch during the procession through Westminster Abbey, and the parliamentary robes, which are worn by members of the House of Lords and other officials. In addition to the robes worn during the ceremony, several other garments and accessories are traditionally worn by monarchs and other officials during coronation ceremonies, including crowns, scepters, and swords. King Charles III will also wear the traditional coronation robes, which are made of crimson velvet and ermine fur. The robes are incredibly heavy and weigh over 15 kilograms. Number 2. The crown. The crown that would be used is the imperial state crown. This crown has been used in coronation ceremonies for British monarchs since 1937, and is kept in the Jewel House at the Tower of London when not in use. The imperial state crown is made up of many different precious materials and features many jewels, including diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, and rubies. It has a velvet cap and ermine band, and is set with over 2,800 diamonds. The crown is also adorned with other significant jewels, such as the Black Prince's ruby, which is actually a spinel, and the Stuart sapphire. In addition to its ornamental value, the imperial state crown also serves a practical purpose in the coronation ceremony, as it is used to crown the new monarch, and is also worn during the procession through Westminster Abbey. One of the most important symbols of the coronation is the crown. Number 1. The date. The date 6th of May 2023 has been announced for King Charles III's coronation ceremony. The ceremony will take place in Westminster Abbey, the historic church located in the heart of London. Westminster Abbey has been the site of every coronation since William the Conqueror's in 1066. The ceremony will likely include many of the traditional elements mentioned earlier, such as anointing, the oath, the crowning, and the presentation of regalia and symbols of power. In addition to these traditional elements, there may be other aspects of the ceremony that are unique to King Charles III's coronation. Given King Charles III's long-standing interest in environmentalism and sustainability, it is possible that the coronation ceremony may incorporate elements that reflect these values. For example, the ceremony may include a focus on renewable energy, green technology, or other environmentally friendly practices. The ceremony will last for several hours and will include various rituals and customs that have been part of British coronations for centuries. It is also likely that King Charles III's coronation will include a strong emphasis on inclusivity and diversity. The royal family has made a concerted effort in recent years to become more representative of modern British society, and this commitment may be reflected in the coronation ceremony. This brings us to the end of the video. From the coronation ceremony in Westminster Abbey to the grand procession through the streets of London, to the coronation banquet and the fireworks display over the River Thames, the coronation of King Charles III promises to be an unforgettable event. Comment down if there's something you know about the coronation that we missed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for future updates. See you next time.